and welcome to the Coach Me podcast. My name is Nadine Stille, founder of Coach Me and your podcast host. I'm curious, how healthy is your relationship with money? If you think there's room for improvement, then listen in as I'll be talking with leadership and financial wellness coach Hellen Young about how you can change your life with a healthy money mindset. Hellen helps her clients to confidently navigate their life, career, and finances through a practical and emotionally intelligent approach. She believes that how you are in a relationship with yourself directly impacts how you are in a relationship with others and the world around you. Hellen helps her coaching clients stay relaxed while facing unknowns, feel safe, and courageously take a stand for what matters most to them. Hellen combines her knowledge of over 12 years of experience in financial planning and services with a coaching approach and is a certified professional coactive coach via the Coactive Training Institute. Holds an accreditation as a professional certified coach awarded by the International Coach Federation and also has a certification in embodied leadership core from the Strozzi Institute. As Hellen's passionate about helping you lead the life you want, let's take a look at what you'll get from today's Coach Me podcast episode about money mindset. We explore what has influenced our current money mindset, how to identify our primary relationship with money, and the impact of that has on us and our world. We learn and reflect on our own situation through Hellen's coaching, questions and tips, and we find out what we can do to intentionally choose and act upon the relationship we actually want with money. Let's tune in. Hi, Hellen. Hi,
Nadine.
Welcome to today's podcast episode. I'm really looking forward to everything that you've got to say about changing our lives through a healthy money mindset. That sounds super intriguing.
Thank you. Yes, I'm excited and thanks for having me. Actually, before we start, first I would like to acknowledge everyone who's listening or watching this podcast that we all have a choice. And we can start our year or day to claim and declare that this year is going to be the best year of our lives. And we're going to have the healthiest relationship with money. Or we can start our year in fear and think that, oh my gosh, what if this is another 2020? What if this is just another year and I will never be good with money and it's just going to be another year. So the good news is the fact that you're here listening, it means that you're open and willing to see your year and even today through the lens of possibility, through the lens of a healthy mindset, where you see that this year is going to be the best year of your life and you're going to have a very healthy relationship with money.
Bring it on. That sounds great. Hope is always good. And I get there, you're going to be sharing some great tips of how people can actually do that. Before we go into all of that, maybe you can just shed some light of what some of your coaching clients are battling with right now. What are some of the topics that you're educating or coaching on right now?
Yes, that's a good question. So I'd say some of the most pressing topics I've been hearing are, how can I make money work for me? How can I be debt free? and this one, I love it. It comes up all the time is how to be financially independent and retire early.
Yeah. So what's your quick answer to that?
Well, it's your story.
Okay, great. So this are some interesting topics, and obviously you're a financial wellness coach, and that's why people come to you about those topics. So obviously we're talking about a money mindset, a healthy money mindset today, and apart, like I can see, it's like people coming to you, it's like say, hey, what do I need to do right? It's like the action around it. And some things like, do I need to move money from here to there? Or do I need to invest? And all these types of things. But we're actually talking about a mindset here. So why should people start with the mindset? Why is that so important to actually change our lives?
No, what you just talked about is so important. Like I see mindset as part of your inner asset. You know, we're building a lot of our external assets on the amount in your bank accounts, real estate, and anything that you want to have in life. And the mindset is like, I want to say, it's the main ingredients of your inner asset. And I see it as a form of attitude, beliefs, and perspective. Metaphorically, it's like you're wearing a tinted or colored sunglasses. And that's your mindset. If your sunglasses is tinted green, or if it's dirty, then you're seeing everything through the lens. You see a world as green. You see everything as green. And so in relation to money, if your mindset, the lens that you see through is stressful, it's like, oh gosh, every time I talk, the word money shows up, it just stresses me out. Then that's the lens you're seeing through. Then everything that's money related is going to be stressful. And if you see through it as I'll never be rich, or I'll never be good with money, then again, that's the lens you see through it. So you see how important that is?
Yeah.
And if you change it, then you see something different.
Get us some new glasses.
I should have opened a glass shop now.
Okay. So is there usually like one particular path, or say, and like I've obviously done like coaching on mindsets as well, with like all different types of areas. And I'm just wondering if there's specifically around money, is there, say, one particular event, or is this kind of a particular path that has dedicated or dictated, not dedicated, dictated as where we are right now with our mindset? It's like what usually causes a mindset that is maybe stressful or kind of has a negative annotation, because that's why we're here. We want to have a more positive mindset around it. So is there usually a particular event or something that led us to where we are right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're hitting one of the key points here. And let's wear the lens of like a therapist lens and looking at it. So actually, it's based on my studies through somatic coaching through Strauss Institute. And this is what I learned is there's no maybe one specific event or area, but it kind of boils down to three possible areas that could cause or shape your mindset to where you are right now. Okay. So the three areas are, one is inherited. So it could be inherited through your family, your community, your social network, where maybe your family member never talk about money. And money, it's a shame. Like it's not allowed to talk about. Then that's your mindset, is you just don't talk about it with others. And the second possibility is it's learned purposefully. So school, you learn from textbook, or you happen to take business or financial planning course, for instance. So you learn about the money, what money should or must kind of be followed towards, then that's the mindset that you've been trained towards. And then you could be, it's boring, it's a flat, because I learned that from textbook. And the third one, I found it was fascinating. It's driven out of survival and safety. So through your entire life journey, right? It's a times when perhaps you grew up with no money, and you saw your parents struggle. You saw your parents work like multiple jobs, and then that's what it's kind of, you wanted to protect yourself too, so you pick up 3 jobs as well. And you think that in order to make money, you have to work really, really hard, like day and night. And that is also another possible, kind of mindset shifter.
Okay. So it's worth reflecting on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So whether it's inherited, learned purposefully, or is driven out of survival and safety.
Could this also be a mix of things?
It could be mixed. Yeah, it's like some could be part of it is inherited from your parents, or even multi-generational, like how you see your grandparents or your elders, manage money, and you took that with you. Or you see how your friends talk, or someone you admire, or someone that you just always in your face, and it just becomes, because it's a repetition, right? Like it's already kind of embodied or practiced in front of you that way, and whether you like it or not, in a way, it become a habit. It's like it become a norm for you.
Mm-hmm. And so, what's the reason we need to kind of reflect on where we're coming from in order to kind of go forward? Is that, how important is it? Can we just do something about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say kind of really take a pause and take a look around. Who are the people that you associate yourself or connect with yourself the most, and how kind of observe how they manage money and what's their mindset around money, and see where you get that idea from, or where you actually have completely opposite thoughts on it. Yeah.
And it's important to do that.
Yes, that's the number one thing is, in order to know what kind of mindset that you're in right now, is to find out, one is, there's two parts, is what is your current mindset? And then two is, the question that you ask, what shapes this mindset, for you? And once you find that the cause is like going to the doctor, you're bleeding or you have some symptoms that's showing, you can, make a quick Band-Aid solution. But if it's recurring, so that's the key, is if you notice this mindset, especially it's not serving you, it's costing you both stress and financially, like it's depleting your bank account, then that's serious. Then it's not just what's bleeding as a symptom out there. Then it's some kind of recurring habit that's been showing up over and over again that leads to that. So it's important to find the root cause.
Okay, and that comes through the mindset then.
Yes.
So, okay.
Absolutely. And actually going back to this question you asked earlier, the importance of mindset is the mindset is the way you think. And what's happening is you start with the way you think. And the more you think that way, your thoughts actually dictates your action. Then you start to do it that way. And then when you do it enough, it's like right now, for those who drives a car or ride a bicycle, you just get on the bicycle or get in the car, you just start driving. Like you're on autopilot, right? You don't have to think. So when you do your same, kind of follow the same mindset, incorporate that into your action over time, it becomes a habit. And then it actually becomes, it could become a truth that you start to believe that is actually true. That's the way it is. Then that's the way it is.
Okay. So you need to kind of be aware what's been going on so far and then intercept that pattern if it's not working.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I see both. I mean, it's not always not working. Yeah.
Sure.
Even the inherited, like your parents could embody or give you a really good example of how to be responsible with money and how to really invest smartly, right? So you notice where you inherit those mindset and see, oh, those are really good, like golden nuggets. I want to keep it. So then you keep those. But there are others that's actually, it's become obsolete or it's no longer serving you right now. It's causing you tremendous stress and depleting in your bank account. Then that's also time to take a look. What do I need to change?
I like what you just said around this is no longer serving me or this is not serving me right now, because I guess it's different of depending on what, I don't know, what life events you're currently going through or what life stage you're in. And it's like, do you want to start early saving for retirement, or are you going to save for a house or, you know, for the next world trip whenever we can do that again? So
Correct.
it can also change. That's in a positive way. So you kind of seem to be able to amend it depending on
And
what your
this,
needs are.
I want to just kind of add to it. This is like, do you have an open mindset? You know, a learner's mindset, growth mindset, just open to adapt, open to really kind of dance with each life stage, because everyone has a different path, and when you go through different life stages, your priorities changes, and that's where you want to see whether your mindset at that time is aligning with what matters most to you.
Totally makes sense. Okay, so now that we know where we're at now with our mindset, I assume let's assume there's room for improvement going up with our, you know, relationship with money. And so how do you suggest we improve our relationship with money? Is there like a particular approach to that? What do you suggest?
Yes, I would say the first one is identify what kind of mindset that you are in right now. It's like what kind of relationship you're in. You know, we're talking about the month of February, even from romantic relationship perspective. It's like, are we friends or are we dating? Are we like official? Like, you don't want to guess, right? Like, I mean, you could have guessed, but eventually you wanted to know, what is the relationship that I'm signed up or I'm in with money? Is it casual, or I'm actually really committed and responsible, like wanted to take the leadership and the responsibility to lead the wealth that I want? So
are we in a committed relationship long term?
Oh gosh, yes, are we in a committed relationship? It can be scary too. Yeah. So, long story short. There's also like safety in that, right? It's just like, oh, this is where I'm at now. Okay. Yes. So before this is an interesting piece, because before we can get to the how to, right? It's to find out what it is. Like, what is my relationship with money right now? What is my current mindset about when I think and feel and act around money? Yeah. So building awareness on what it is right now. That's the first most important thing to do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What else? Once we know that.
Once you know that, here's the thing. It's you're just kind of pulling out information. It's like, oh, I'm in this like a casual relationship with money. Is when I need it, I look at it. When I don't need it, I put it away, or I'm going to commit it, right? So here's the thing. It doesn't matter casual or committed or serious. Is see those as information. So the second piece is do not judge yourself.
That's probably difficult. It's like, oh. Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, I'm in a very casual relationship, very irresponsible. You know what? That's a good thing, because you just become aware of that. So don't judge on what it is. It's, you know, I mean, identify what it is. Don't judge it, because trust that this information will help you build towards a healthier relationship.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There's no point to judge. Yeah. It's about, there's actually, I forgot who the inspirational person was. It's talking about the judge's mindset and the learner's mindset. So once you learn about what kind of mindset that you have, you just kind of check in with myself, like, oh, what can I learn about this, about my relationship with money, rather than, oh, I shouldn't, I'm not good enough. Like the moment you catch yourself, you judge yourself, switch that to what can I learn here?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. So first step, get to know where we are now. Don't judge it.
Don't judge it.
Hey, what does that say? Right? What can I learn from this? Okay.
That's right. And third one would be, as you actually pointed out earlier, is kind of give yourself a little check-in, because everything, I feel like we're living in a paradoxical world. Everything you do, there's a gift in it, and then there might be a cost to it too. So it's just for you to really fairly kind of unpack what your current learning about your mindset is. It's like, oh, I know what my mindset is, and here's what I learned about myself, and here's what I learned about what this kind of mindset is actually taking good care of me. How does this mindset take care of me? Mm-hmm. And then what are possible costs like that it's having on me, mm-hmm. or it's no longer serving me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you kind of just get an idea, then you know which part has a good or healthy impact on you, and which part has an unhealthy impact on you, mm-hmm. in this stage of your life. Then once you know that, then the final step, you take action. What can I do now?
Okay, great. So there's a lot of reflection
mm-hmm.
going on, and kind of really, really digging deep what's going on there. Okay, so we have the different approaches, and it's like take a look at the types of relationships that people can have with their money. I guess we've covered some of that already. It's like, hey, this is committed, this is casual, I'm still single, or what else? Hey, there's several relationships. Who knows?
Yes. A mix of friends with a benefit, like whatever you can name it.
Yeah. Is like anything else that?
Yeah. So I want to say, as we just named a few, like it's we could literally, come up with like 1,000 names on different type of relationship that you could have, right? In different kind of metaphoric way. Mm-hmm. But really, for me, I took some time, just really it boils down to two main ones.
Okay.
And they are love and hate. It's a love and hate relationship. Mm-hmm. And here's the piece is when you're looking at your relationship with money, from that's operating from a place of love, you'll feel like it gives you that level of openness, connectedness, abundance, and acceptance. So those will kind of give you some ideas of what does it feel like or look like when you're operating from a loving relationship with money. Mm-hmm. And then the hate part, I kind of interchange it with the word as fear. When you're operating from a place of fear with money, then it kind of, I would say, it's like expand to some of the actions around like avoidance, mm-hmm. Judgment, boredom, scarcity, survival mode, or even feeling disconnected. Mm-hmm. So those are some kind of maybe a bit more key representations of when it's operating from fear.
Mm-hmm. And would you say it's an either or, like it's either love or hate, or do you see that as, say, like a scale?
Good one. I'm a believer of everything is interconnected. Mm-hmm. And even when I say it's a love or hate relationship, it's operating from love or fear, you're a whole person. You don't just separate yourself, say, 50% or 80% means operating in fear. So it's you can gauge. Maybe there is possibly 10% of your relationship with money is actually coming from that curiosity and openness. And there's times you may have that energy. You feel like, oh gosh, I really wanted to learn about this and really take control of my money, right? And that's actually a love energy. You see the openness, the proactiveness, and wanted to learn and engage, like you race through it towards it. Yeah. And then also notice there could be at the same time. You feel it's like, what if I make a mistake? What if I made a wrong investment decision? What if I lose ton of money? Then you see when that happens, even my embodiment, it starts to cleaning, like tightened. So this is a part, even if you couldn't find the right words, check in with your body. See if you become contracted or tightened, then it's most likely that's open from fear. Yeah. And when it's more open, softened, and feel like very grounded and connected, that means your primary, I guess, relationship with money that's running, that's operating from the place of love.
Okay, totally makes sense. And like even checking in with your body, there's always like I always love that when something is coming up. Where in your, I know you've done it a few times as well. It's like, where does it sit in your body, right? Sometimes you feel like you can't talk, or your heart is racing, or you have that like pit in your tummy, and it's like, oh gosh, I feel like I'm not well. Sure. Depending on how severe it is. So it's always a really good thing. I totally underline that. It's like, where in your body does that show up?
Yeah. And then as you're asking that question, I just say, whoever's listening right now, check in with your body, because we are talking about money. So when you hear the word money, like, what's your feeling? What's the feeling that comes up first, right? Do you feel you're like, oh no, or you're like, oh, ooh, money, let me hear more, right? So then it gives you some indication or taste of your relationship.
Perfect. Yeah, that's really good tips. So we have covered just like a love-hate relationship. Where do you want to go? And and I guess, it's easy from your examples that you've given us, like how you can identify where you're at. Can you shed some insights on like shifting our mindset? How do we move on to something healthier? Some like practical steps. And it's like, okay, now we need to move into action. What do we do about that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I want to kind of just park this question for a second, because there's just a little bit more kind of transition from identifying.
Sure.
Because yes, we talk about love and fear relationship, and there's one. There's 5 very important identifier for, especially when you're running at the from the place of fear. Yeah. So I want to share that, because that will give you, I would say, a better idea of catching yourself when you are kind of become like on autopilot with your money.
Okay, so we're talking about the fear based relationship or mindset with money, and then there's 5 different types.
Yes. Yeah. Just okay. 5 different, I call it more like automatic habits that you just do. You don't even think, you just do when it comes to money. And in this theory, I want to say it's also from my study of embodied leadership through the Strozzi Institute. So they name it as conditioned tendencies, and I call it 5 kind of automatic habits with money. And here are the 5. You probably hear the first 2 are very common. It's a fight, flight, freeze, appease, disassociate.
Okay.
Yeah. And tell me.
No. It's like, can you tell us more about each one of them?
Yeah. So this I found was fascinating. It's, we're familiar with the fight and flight mode, when we're kind of get stressed out and my money's like, oh gosh, I have to file tax now. I mean, I don't want to stress everyone out. Yeah. You got 2 months. So when you're stressed out, right? So the fight mode is, I'll talk about flight first. A flight is a flee, you run away. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to file taxes. That's so just tactical and so boring. And then I have to collect all that information. So you're running away from it. That's the automatic habit. You flee. And then the fight is quite like a very aggressive manner, which you notice you may become very defensive. and then your voice get louder, your body kind of just become even bigger, that you want to show up as, no, I got this. I can handle my money. I don't need your help. You hear people say, I don't need your help, or I can afford this. And then they know they have to dip into their, credit card and then into deeper debt, but because they're defensive about it, so automatically it's like, I can afford a new car. I'm showing off and defensively kind of just and it's draining their bank account. Mm-hmm. So that's a fight and flight mode. And freeze, it's a form of procrastination. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, maybe later, and I never get to it. I work with a couple of people who literally like procrastinate their tax filing for 3 or 4 years, and they know it's important, and they just like, I don't know why, I just don't want to do it, and it's been 4 years now. Mm-hmm. What's the other one? Appease. So being agreeable, being overly nice about towards people, try to please them, don't want to upset them. Do you remember maybe times that at work you've been called to say, hey, let's have lunch together, and when you have your lunch packed in the fridge and you're on a tight budget, but you still said yes because you don't want to upset your colleague. Hmm. Yeah. The last one is, this one is not being kind of talked often, it's a disassociate. So it's really kind of, it's disconnected, numbing. You don't feel it anymore. It's like, I don't care anymore. You totally just check yourself out.
It's like giving up.
Like you don't care. You file bankruptcy. It's like, I don't care. Being irresponsible, and then just don't even take any accountability or responsibility on that. Okay. So notice which one that, maybe it catches you or leaning kind of resonate with you the most. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess there can be maybe a tiny bit of a mix or
absolutely everything. I wouldn't say it's everything that we talk about. Mm-hmm. Is not a black and white. Mm-hmm. And I want to really emphasize it's not good or bad. Yes, I kind of said these 5 conditioned tendencies or automatic habits that's operating from fear. But there is a good thing about fear is, it's actually, the fear is protecting you at some point. Mm-hmm. And all of this, there's actually 3 human core needs that I learned is everything we do is kind of driving towards safety, belonging, and dignity. So when you automatically freeze with money, it's like you don't want to make a decision. It's also protecting you to not like be impulsive and do it right there and then. So there's a way it actually takes care of you. Mm-hmm. So my hope and a message is really for you to be aware of what are your, especially automatic, because when it's automatic, you're not aware, right? Mm-hmm. Be aware of what you automatically do when it comes to money. And then kind of get curious on, how does this automatic mindset or action serving me or costing me? Yeah. Then you make a choice. You can choose to do nothing, or you can choose to do something about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I really like what you've mentioned about there's nothing bad about it. It is what it is. And it may have served you at some stage, and now you need to see, does it still serve you, or does it cost you more than it serves you? And then again, there's choices about all of this, right? I love that. So we have choices.
Yes,
we
have choices. We all have a choice.
So if you want to move forward, and move from the kind of fear-based area to more of the love relationship with money and love mindset with money, what do we do?
I love what you said. I'm smiling because, we're sitting in the month of February. It's really, I want to say, choose love.
Yes.
Choose love, because when you are not choosing is actually a choice too.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I would say first is to choose love. Change your story. Yeah.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. Yes. And you got me so jazzed now. There's actually a proverb says, when is the best time to plant a tree? And the first best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. Well, and then the next best time to plant a tree is now. It's right now. So make your choice now and choose love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to be scary. It also doesn't mean that it's not going to be difficult, but it might not be as scary or as difficult.
That's right.
And that's when you come in.
Yes. Change your story, change your life. And as everything has its own, gift and shadow side too. Make your choice. And I want to say, yes, when you called me forward, I want to say, don't do it alone. You could get a accountability buddy or partner, that's your, friends or family member that could really hold you accountable and work together. And, hire a coach. Or work with a financial planner advisor at your local financial institution. Because often those are complimentary and part of your membership or client relationship there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what I will say, and really I want to emphasize, do not do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Money is not, I want to say, as much as we made it kind of so playful. But again, you can make your relationship with money playful. You can see it as, so I challenge you. Here's the thing. I want to challenge you to try different lenses today after you listen to this piece. Try to put on a lens through a 3-year-old eyes and then see how playful you can get with money. Or put a lens through a teacher's eyes and see, if money is my teacher today, what can I learn from my teacher? Mm-hmm. Right? This month again, it's a relationship and a partner. If money is your lifelong partner, what do you need from your partner? What do you want for your partner? Mm-hmm. Have that inter-supported relationship. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. And when you mentioned about the kind of accountability partner or buddy going through it all starts with a conversation. I guess you have to start talking about it. Like one of the first things that you mentioned earlier is like, what if, you never talk about it with anyone? It's like money is just not a topic. And yes. And it's a relationship, so you need to
you need to talk. It's not a long way. Yes,
exactly.
Yes, so important. You know what, Nadine, as you talk about this, I would say the number one thing is talk about it first. Let's have a conversation about money. You can go home and say, oh, guess what? Today I watch or listen to this podcast about money mindset. Let's talk about it with your kids, with your spouse, with your parents, with your friend, and you could even with yourself have journal about it.
Yeah, you've mentioned lots of great questions and topics to reflect on. So why not just put it down on paper and start writing out and see what comes to mind you're reflecting on all of that. Okay. Yeah. Choose love.
Choose love, and don't do it alone. So I just want to kind of insert in here that if we happen to have the opportunity to work together, I wanted you to be sure to ask me about my recent development on the happiness recipe.
Happiness recipe. Ooh.
Yes.
So that's you're not gonna. That's a teaser right now. Is that right?
That's the teaser. Yes, yes. It's something I develop for all my clients. When we get to work together, I share my happiness recipe. Whether you have whatever your happiness is, whether it's financial freedom or get promoted or how to run your own business or anything that makes you happy. I know I'm gonna kind of help you to really enrich your ingredients from both inner and outer perspective.
Great.
All right.
So it's like moving or choose love and so building kind of like new habits around it. Obviously, you said you need to know where you're at, then kind of not judge, open a conversation, choose love, and see what comes up. But like, obviously it took like so long to get to the current mindset that we have. Moving forward to kind of shift it, what kind of needs to happen to build like new habits? And how do I build a new habit? Is it always just like making a choice in the moment? Is it as simple in, abbreviated commas? Is it as simple as that? Like catch yourself in the moment and then choose the opposite or choose something else? How does that work?
I love it. I want to say it's a yes and yes, you can, you're a human being, your muscle memory or habit can shift and change in the moment. So you could choose in the moment too. There's something I would say, learning from, all different kind of, tiny habit or the habit change books. I would say one of the key thing is you really got to make this a habit. One is meaningful for you and also rewarding and a baby step. So focus on one thing. And here I want to give to you this question is, if you only did one thing today on your relationship with money to create your best year, what would it be? And why is that important?
Okay. Lots of really good reflection. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, there's a reason why we're bringing this up, right? It's not, there's probably like a need for people to kind of change that, because sometimes money is still or talking about money is still a taboo topic. So to kind of just bring it out and I don't know where I'm going with this.
as you're talking, what came to me is, let's make it simple, because often we kind of drop into like negativity, right? I don't want this. I don't want my relationship with money to be like this. I don't want it to be stressed about our money. So if you start all the don't want, you're actually embody a stuck energy, and it's hard to come out by yourself. I mean, working with a coach will be helpful, but if you're alone, I want to say the moment you notice you don't want something, you don't want a certain relationship with money to be, ask yourself, what do I want? What is the relationship that I want to create with money? And what is my definition of healthy?
Yeah, great.
Then you go from there. Define your what do you call it? Define what's healthy for you on your relationship.
It's different for everyone.
It is.
Right? It's like, healthy. It's like, what does that mean for me? For someone who's single, for someone who's just starting out, or who's just bought a house, or God knows what. It's always different. Great.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't judge yourself. Don't do it alone.
Okay. Lots of insights, lots of tips. Anything else that we need to kind of cover before we kind of close this off? We've been like through this really fast.
I know. We can talk forever. No, let's, just start now. Change your story. Put a different mindset, different glasses, and then see what you notice the difference in your world.
Okay, cool. Great. That was the main part around this, and obviously for people who like tune in regularly, they, you might know that we're having the same 3 questions for everyone this season out there. And the first one that we're finishing off this episode with is a book recommendation from you. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything that you really like want to put out in there into the world?
Yeah, I'm actually listening to the audiobook of this one. It's called The Broke Millennial, Talk About Money by Erin Lowry. Okay. So highly recommend. She has a sweet series. I mean, everyone is really good. I'm reading the last one right now. But take a look. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it's strictly for millennials, or does anyone?
You know what? Here's the thing: is that your mindset will think, "Oh, I'm not a millennial, then I shouldn't read the book." Change your mindset. This is about, like, literally, it's about just see money from a different perspective as well, mm-hmm. and how to really build your wealth. Yeah, like I couldn't talk, like, it's not just for millennials.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. What's something that's on your bucket list? Something that you've always wanted to do?
So many. I would say there's something about the music that I really enjoy and I want to do more of, is to learn how to play piano.
Yay!
Yeah,
great.
And there's a metaphor that actually my coach gave to me, and I thought it's just it makes the story, and it just is so meaningful for me to wanting to learn to play piano. Mm-hmm. Is in life, play all the notes on your piano. Play all 88 keys on your piano. Mm-hmm. Full expression. Yeah. And full permission.
The high and the low notes.
That's
Everything
right.
in between.
That's right.
Oh, I love that metaphor. Great. And last one, what makes you dance?
Ooh. I feel like just hearing the word, this is a powerful word, that I start, I feel like I'm starting to move my body a little bit. The word of the dance makes me dance. And I have been learning salsa and bachata in the last couple of years. So it's just any music, especially Latin music. Something about Spanish is just really romantic, and it just gets me really jazzed.
And there we are, full time around having a relationship and a good, healthy mindset.
Yes, dance with your money.
Ooh, dance with your money. That's a good one as well. Yeah, bring a bit of rhythm and fun to it. Right?
Yes, the rhythm and the fun. You need the rhythm. Yes.
And everyone can learn it.
That's right.
Okay, great. It's been a pleasure, Hellen, as usual. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Bye. So, what have you discovered about your money mindset and your personal relationship with finances? If you'd like to explore what's possible for you and your life dreams, I'd like to invite you to a free initial coaching chat with Hellen. Simply go to coachme.global/book. That's coachme.global/book. Here's to a healthy and thriving relationship with money. Thank you for tuning in. Nadine.